Hey everyone, my name is Martin and the name of the channel is the Campfire Trail, and today we're going to be going in as promised to ways you can start immediately reducing your costs, your monthly costs, and we're going to be talking about food because food is a way that you can immediately start making a difference. A lot of the other things like insurance and housing and energy and all of that kind of stuff, you can't just decide that you're going to change that and lower that price immediately. There are a lot of strategies that you have to go through to start accomplishing cost savings there. But with food, you can do it. You can do it immediately with your next trip to the store. And one of the things that we dealt with, my wife and I, which she's out taking down her deer blind today. It's after deer season, so she's doing that. But one of the things that we were always doing was we were buying a lot of semi-prepared or prepared foods that were very easy and convenient. And convenient a lot of times is going to turn out being the enemy of frugalness. So what we did was we started, when we had our $750 grocery basket full of groceries last summer, it was like, okay, enough of that. It's time to start finding a better way. And we've actually reduced that down to well under $300 per month now, and mostly it's come in the form of buying ingredient groceries or ingredient food rather than prepared foods. And I'm going to go through a couple of examples here of how we're going to do some huge meals and not only have them for ourselves for now, but we're also going to preserve a lot of it for at some point in the future. And that may be a short-term thing, an intermediate, or even a long-term type of a solution on there. So we're going to cover some of that right now. To start with, my daughter, we have been working with, we have a freeze dryer. So a lot of the meals that we prepare, we will take a portion of and run through the freeze dryer so that we can do them as a long-term food savings or a food prep. But we also freeze things too, but she has been utilizing our freeze dryer to help do that. And so one of the things that she will do is she will bring ingredients to us, and then we'll just go ahead and prepare them. And today we're going to be doing some things that are not necessarily going to the freeze dryer, even though some of them might. I just haven't decided yet. But one of the things but the freeze dryer is expensive, okay? You have to really treat that as a long-term investment in your food preps, buying a freeze dryer, because they're in the thousands of dollars. But there are things that are very, very inexpensive that you can do. And one of the things that we've done is begin vacuum sealing and freezing food for at some point in the future. And what she did was she's been bringing us ingredients, and someone had given her a couple of cans of fully cooked beef. Okay, and this is just things that she's been getting. So we've got 2 cans of beef. She also had a full box of lasagna noodles right here that she didn't know what to do with, and a can of mushroom soup. And then we have some freeze-dried chicken of the woods mushrooms here, and we round up with a packet of brown gravy mix. So what we're going to do is, as we were going through the different supplies or the different grocery items that she brought to us, it's like, okay, well, we can combine this together into some beef and noodles. And so essentially what we're going to do is going to break up this lasagna noodles into just smaller pieces, mix it with the cooked beef, and I believe it's a shredded beef is what it's kind of like, and then add a can of mushroom soup along with some beef broth to it, and then the gravy. Then I'll probably throw in some chicken of the woods mushrooms to round that out. And that's going to make a pretty fair size batch of beef and noodles. And we've done this before, and they turn out really good. So we're going to do that again. And that will be one. Now, one of the things that we'll do is with her, she cannot eat all of it at once, and you don't want to eat it day after day after day until it's all gone. So, and I don't typically try to tell people that that it's important to go out and spend money on things, but in this case, you really do have to kind of consider purchasing some tools to go along with. And now you can put this stuff into just Ziploc bags or whatever and toss it in the freezer. But what we've decided that we like to do to hold it, to keep it a little bit more stable, a little bit longer, is we have found a place on Amazon, and I will put a link to these things down in the description below. But these are silicone little containers that you can pour hot soups and things like that into, and they got markings on the inside of them for a half a cup, a full cup, or 2 cups, which is about the limit on here. And you can just fill these things up with soups, or in this case, going to go beef and noodles. They've got lids on them that you can put on there, and then just stop them in the freezer. And they come 4 to a pack, so you can just stack them all up in the freezer. And and what happens when they come out is they're a square block of food. Now, this is ham and beans that I made last year, a whole year ago. As a matter of fact, last January. And we froze them in those blocks and then put them in freeze dry, or into vacuum seal bags, which there'll be a link for some vacuum seal bags down below too. And the final thing that we'll do, again, I'm not trying to sell stuff, but I'm just trying to tell you, you can go get these things really almost anywhere, but we use a very inexpensive Food Saver vacuum sealer for sealing the bags. And then really once you pull them out, once they're frozen and you pull them out of these containers and slip them into a bag and vacuum seal them, they will last for a long time that way. And when I want to have ham and bean soup, I just pull one of them out, let it thaw or warm it up in a pan, and it's ready to go. So it's excellent food prep because it costs virtually nothing once you get past the storage containers and the vacuum sealer. The ingredients themselves, in this case, all of these ingredients cost her absolutely nothing, because the cans of beef were given to her. She already had I guess at some point she probably bought the mushroom soup, but most of these things were things that were sitting on a shelf or were given to her. So we're going to make that. It's going to virtually cost nothing. But even if you were to buy this stuff at the store, it would be very minimal for what you're going to get out of there. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, the next meal that I'm going to prepare today is going to be just some ham and beans, because we're getting low on them. And this is another thing where the ingredients with ham and beans are basically ham hocks and dried beans. And literally this big package of ham hocks was like $7. All of these packages of beans, which we've got some white beans, and then we got some mixed style of beans here, and even some lentils. And between these bags of beans, we are going to fill the stock pot completely full. And so I've got $7 in the ham hocks. If you don't like ham and beans, there's just something almost un-American about that. But the beans themselves, all of this, I think there's about 4 pounds of beans here, 4 or 5. And the cost on this was probably about $7 as well. So for $15, I'm going to have all of this. I'll probably be able to make up 20 of these blocks of meals, kind of ready to eat, out of the ham and beans. So that's going to come down to less than $1 per serving, actually per probably double serving according to what they call servings. And it's going to reduce. What it will be is you just don't want to eat this for every meal for a week and a half. But if you can freeze them down and toss these in the freezer, you'll have a meal now or a couple of meals now and several of them on into the future. So when you just don't want to cook, just pop one out and peel it out of the plastic and throw it in and cook it. And then we're not going to go into this today, but one of the other excellent meal preps that we are going to talk about in the future is MREs. I just got turned on to these like within the last month, and I'm shocked at how economical and easy those are. Talk about convenience. There you're buying convenience and it's not costing a whole lot. Anyway, so look down in the bottom, look down in the description if you want to get links to these couple of things that I've got here. And just remember, you can drastically reduce your grocery shopping just by simply going for the ingredient food and preparing it yourself versus going for the convenience food and paying extra for it. And literally, it takes no more time to make a pot of beans this size as it does one meal's worth. So anyway, we just do things in bigger quantities and then preserve it for points in the future. I hope that that you're going to start finding some good advice in these ideas. There are things that we've done, especially in the last year, that really has reduced our food costs. Probably cut them in less than half of what they were, just by deciding that we're not going to go with the convenience. We're going to go with more of the ingredient kind of food stores. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.